foundation of everything for me. Everything goes off this. If you watch, a lot of the times the actual finish, I have a different gripping combination. But this gripping combination starts everything. And if you don't have high-level guillotine defense, this is good enough to get it done. For people who have better and better defense, I have to go deeper and deeper and deeper into my variations. But that said, it's kind of like that standard armbar from closed guard. Still works against people who don't know how to defend armbars from closed guard. But people who do, you have different traps and setups and tricks you use to still get the finish. The big key, why did we keep switching our leg position? So you saw we went from a standard closed guard to like more of a half guard, half butterfly to this leg across the hip position. The reason being, it's easier and easier and easier to get on my side with each of these positions, and it's easier and easier and easier to maintain being on my side. So you look at how I'm laying here, right? I can do that same position in the closed guard. The problem being the closed guard is basically a big circle. So if Chris wants to run inside that circle and flatten me out, it's very hard for me to stop that. So a lot of times I'll have to use different leg positions to hold him in the position I want to finish. Does that make sense? Sure. So that's why we worked 1 to 2 to 3, going more side to side to side. Also, I want you guys to realize that, you know, if you're more comfortable in the closed guard, that's fine. You can use the safety and comfort of the closed guard to get used to catching guillotines and get used to finishing them. And then as you get used to catching them and like not letting their head escape, right? Because if their head pops out and they're still in your closed guard and you have a good closed guard, no problem. So you get used to catching and maintaining the head, and then once you feel confident that you can keep it no matter what, now you start moving out to those more side-on variations until you start getting more finishes. Any questions on anything we've covered so far? Any parts of it that are sticking or anything else? All right. So now we're gonna start talking about their hands coming into fight. So as we're wrapping the guillotine, one of the most common things you're gonna have to deal with is the person hand fighting it. If they don't understand what's going on, they may not hand fight you, but if I bring somebody brand new into my gym and I guillotine them the first time, they might not fight hands. I guillotine them 20 seconds later, they might not fight hands. But the third time, they're gonna start being like, you know what, this is the thing that's choking me, let me just grab a hold of this and see how that works. So you're gonna figure it out eventually, right? And someone who's been around and trained a lot is gonna be very quick to get hands on hands against somebody who they feel has a good front choke hand. So, when I'm here, we're gonna have some nomenclature just so we're on the same page. This hand is the near side hand, right? The side that the choke's going in, near side hand. This side would be the cross side hand if he's reaching that way. So just two different looks. Near side is the most common defense. That's the one we're gonna talk about first. So, Chris feels me getting in on the JHook guillotine, and he grabs up near side. You can see. Let's take out the invisibleness here of the guillotine. He's reached up, hooked inside, fingers on top. It's gonna be very difficult for me to do any variation that involves lifting anymore. So, what I'm gonna do is drive my shoulder as hard as I can to the floor, twisting Chris. He's got two options. One is to keep this grip, so he keeps this grip no matter what. I flip him to his back, and now I've swept him top to bottom. You can continue to attack the guillotine if that's your prerogative, or you can just be somebody who likes other stuff in jiu-jitsu, go to normal side control and like go for arm bars or whatever you like to do. But if they are worried about going to bottom and I go hard, he's gonna take this hand out to post, and that's when I can roll in and finish. So very simple at first, but we're catching, they're defending, so I can't get the finish. So we're here. All I'm gonna do, plant my foot and drive my shoulder. Now he's gotta pull his hand out or get flipped. So come back. So he's got the hand locked. This hand is needed to base in this direction. So I push until his base comes out. Boom, there we go. Then I lock back in and finish.
Cody, if you were in a full guard variation, or if you were in kind of that half guard variation, would you go ahead and switch to that outside hook to make that sweep happen? Typically.
So here's kind of one thing I think about. With any submission, I think about all the details you need to finish as like a pie chart, right? So each detail represents, some details are worth 20%, some details are worth 3%, but against somebody who's a high level person at defense at that particular move, you might need 100% of those details. There are people that I can get away with very simple versions of this stuff. There are people that I need to get 100% or I'm losing everything. So for me, if I'm struggling in a closed guard variation, I need to improve my leg position to increase my odds. If somebody is not as proficient defensively, I might try to just get it done from that closed guard position so I don't have to risk the transition. So it's just one of those, one of those things. We've all felt it when you're rolling against somebody and you've like missed your move a couple times and you have to like mentally refocus to get that finish. You're like, okay, I'm not letting you get your arm out of this armbar one last time, or I'm not gonna let you fight my hands and escape my back control. I'm gonna really lock down. Same thing. If you free a couple times on my guillotine, then the next time through, I'm gonna really make sure I check off all my boxes. But if I'm having an easy day just sweeping you to your back over and over and over without having to go deep into my bag of tricks, then I'll just sweep you over and work from there. So when we're locked in closed guard and they fight near side hand, a lot of times what I'll do is open incorrectly. So I'll lift the guillotine up. You see how that pulled his arm away? Now I slid my foot in, then I'll lift again, slide again. Now I'll try to flip. He has to post. No, I shouldn't finish. So near side hand reaching in. We just bring them until they base against the sweep, and then we slide back under and put the choke on for real. Easy day? Yeah. All right, let's try it. Ready? 1, 2, 3.